Hey, thanks for joining me today. You're wondering, how do I build an email list? I'm excited to tell you about how I've done this, and this is coming from the perspective of a speaker, entertainer, performer, someone on stage, and to why it's not obsolete to have an email list. You're going to learn a lot of things in this one. Thanks for joining me. So I want you to know that email lists are gold for speakers, entertainers, comedians, musicians, entrepreneurs, people that are creating and building their brand. And a lot of people might dispute that. They might say, well, social media is where it's at. And I agree, social media is awesome, but email is such a great place because that is a place where people actually opted in and really want to be a part of what you've created, what your brand is. Think about the direct connection of an email coming into your inbox. You chose to receive that email, and so you truly wanted it. With my audiences, I would give them either a QR code or some kind of link while I'm speaking on stage, and I would say, hey, this is what I want you to go and check out, and I'm going to give you something first, and then they'll sign up for their email. Now, they have to do a double opt-in, which means that they type in their email first, and then they have to accept the email when it gets sent to them to say, yes, I want to be in here. It's a double opt-in means they really care about following what I'm going to be teaching. These are the type of people that I want to have in my list. If I just had random people signing up, which I used to a long time ago, eventually as a provider of emails, you're now all of a sudden carrying along thousands of people that may not open or click anything. That's what's also awesome about emails, is that you can track how many emails are being opened, how many are spam or might not be opened anymore, those types of things. And that's really helpful as a business owner to see that data and that information. What's really been cool for me is to watch that I send out an email every Sunday morning. That is when my blog goes out. I haven't missed doing that for a decade. And so part of my promise to the audience is they'll receive this promise email, and then they're part of the promise community. But here's what's cool. I can log in and see that over 50% of people always open the email. That's a big deal. Now I have a click more button that they can read more if they want. That doesn't get the crazy number like 50%. It still gets maybe between 15 and 25%. And so that's pretty still good. But I'll tell you, it's way different than if it's just social media where they could just scroll or maybe look at it. I have data and it's helpful for me to see. That's why you want an email list. And the truth of it is that studies have shown that email lists are way higher engagement than a social media post. And so really putting into practice what you want out of your emails is important. You want to also choose the platform that you go with. Some people might choose Constant Contact or MailChimp. There's all kinds of different ones. I hope that you'll also decide for yourself which one really might work for you. A lot of motivational and successful speakers that I follow that give emails out, or at least send emails to my inbox that I absolutely love. I will not delete anything sent to me by Seth Godin. If you want to check him out, it's at seths.blog. That's the email where you can sign up to get his emails. He actually writes one every single day. And it's got all kinds of interesting information because I'm constantly sitting there thinking, how does he come up with this amount of material? He's got such good content. What he also used to do is he would send a link that would say, if you want this tool or this product, you should go check it out on Amazon. And then he would click and it would go straight to Amazon. Now it's an affiliate link where I'm sure he gets compensated in some way, but for years he must have been making Amazon a lot of money by sending them directly to Amazon. Now, as somebody who clicks on those links all the time, I see that he has affiliates and so forth. And so obviously that's a good way for him to make a little bit extra on the back end with his people that are all in this tribe. I know there's hundreds of thousands of us. Then there's a guy named Tim Ferriss. If you've heard of the 4-Hour Work Week, Tim Ferriss has one of the biggest blogs and podcasts in the world, one of the most popular. If you go to tim.blog, that's where you can sign up for his emails as well. Those usually come on a Friday, and they just have so much information. It's astounding because he does so many experiments, research. He has a lot of cool videos. He does these great podcasts. His efforts are really astounding, and so I would really encourage you checking him out. Probably my favorite newest list that I've joined is after I read this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. JamesClear.com. If you go there, you're going to be blown away by the cool email he sends. In fact, he's won awards for this email. It comes out every Thursday. It's just a couple of points, a couple of quotes that are very memorable. And so I would recommend you go check out James Clear. So what if I told you that the secret sauce is not in building the numbers, but in making the personal connection? And that's what's so cool about an email list. You see, I have people that I can reach out to at any point if I need something or if I'm launching a product, and they specifically want to be a part of it. I love on my blog that I get to have people commenting on that and I can respond to them. I've also had people, instead of commenting on the blog, just send me an email, because the bottom of that email that I send every Sunday is my email address. And so that makes a personal connection that makes things way more personal with me and the audience, and I like that part about having an email list. So here's a blueprint to building your email list. I would first say that you have to determine what your signature brand is, or your signature moves. Why would they follow you? Why would they click on a link and say they want to follow you? And so discovering your signature moves, that's something I've talked quite a bit about. In essence, it's about discovering that unique angle that you bring as to why they would want to click and follow. You don't want them to read your blog and think, oh, this is so general, it's not going to help me, or it's not interesting, or maybe I promised that it would be funny, or I don't keep the promise and it's not. And so when I have somebody go through the ICM process of discovering your signature moves, that really helps them to refine for themselves what they could send in an email. So I think you should go through that as well. Here's what I'd recommend. Go to icmprocess.com, and you're just going to find an assessment there where you can identify, clarify, and magnify your brand. That will then help you to really determine why people would want to sign up for your email list, and then what you should share in every single email. For example, I promise that I'm going to talk about the promise. That's what the whole blog and email is about. And so whenever I send out an email, it's about a promise story or a promise event, something that happened. I might once in a while let them know that I have a new YouTube channel or I have an event coming up, but most of the time it's about the promise and making that community stronger. So the question is, if you could go to icmprocess.com, I would love that. Or why don't you just go into the comments as well, even after you've downloaded the sheet that I'm going to give you on icmprocess.com. I want you to also go into the comments and type in what your signature moves are. What is it, the reason that I would follow you? What is your promise to me as an audience? Because if you send me there, and you do have a lead capture page, I'd love to see that too. But why don't you put in the comments what it is that makes people follow you, your signature moves, and I will reply to it as well there. There are also chances you have for lead magnets. You can go onto social media and talk about your email list that people can join. And there are other ways to try to get people interested in those types of things. And so whenever I'm on stage, this is the best lead magnet for me. I'm just on stage talking, and then I just talk about this email list, and sometimes people don't want another email in their inbox, so they'll join me on social media. But then there are those people that really like personalization and emails, and they'll join me, and then we have a great relationship in that sense. One of the things that's real nice about having an email list is that when I've put on webinars and teachings about how to become a better speaker or how to get events or the different things that I talk about on this channel specifically, if I put in a webinar or an event together, I can blast that out to my list. And those are people that actually want to know about that. Whereas on social media, if you just post it there, people might gloss right over it and not even care. Now let's talk about leveraging your email list in a time of crisis. In 2020, when everything shut down and I lost all of my stage work, luckily I had a very robust email list. And so then I transitioned into doing virtual events. I quickly started sending out emails to my list, asking how they could help me with events, if they needed something from me, but also sharing lots of valuable content that they really did want. And so because I had that list available, because I had those people that were ready to be there for me, that really got me through the pandemic in a powerful way because of emails. In fact, even during the pandemic, guess what I did? I launched a book in the middle of a time when people weren't spending money, weren't leaving the house going to a bookstore. Thankfully, there was Amazon. If you want to check out my book, it's called The Promise to the One, and it's about the promise you make to yourself. I hope that you'll go enjoy it. I'm sure Amazon has plenty left. So here's what I would urge you to do. Discover for yourself what your signature moves are. I've already told you how to do that at the icmprocess.com. But then you need to decide for yourself which platform you want to use, whether it's Constant Contact like me or another. And then obviously commit. Make the promise to create your community through emails. I know it's going to make a difference for you. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for joining me.